I'm going to disprove brute fact in 3 minutes. Definitions. Contingent fact is a fact that could logically be otherwise. A necessary fact is a fact that must be so and can't be otherwise. Axioms used. The law of contradiction. Let's start. The brute fact argument intentionally relies on the positive property of no explanation to escape randomness. If the brutist says fact X lacks an explanation, which is absence brute, we can say the lack of explanation for fact X is the definition of randomness. To save brute fact, the brutist makes a change. Brute fact is not the lack of an explanation, it is the positive property of having no explanation. This is the sort of pseudo-grounding that you technically can't refute. This is the regular brute fact, which I'm calling property brute. Let's refute it. In reality X, fact Y holds. 1. Why fact Y and not fact not Y? 2. Because Y is a brute fact. 1. Why is fact Y a brute fact? 2. That itself is a brute fact. 1. Why is that a brute fact? 2. That itself is also a brute fact. 1. Must this chain ever terminate? You can't possibly answer yes, because if you answer yes, the immediate question is, why does it terminate? Restarting the whole regression and therefore proving it does not terminate. So the only possible answer here is to say no, the chain is infinite. If every fact F1 is explained by a brute fact F2 and the brute factness of F2 is itself a brute fact F3 ad infinitum, then no fact in the chain ever receives an explanation. For a fact in the chain to receive the positive property of having no explanation, the next brute in the sequence Fn plus 1 must receive the positive property of having no explanation. But that never happens because it too defers explanation. Therefore, all Fn's lack an explanation at the global level rather than having no explanation. This is stochastic by definition. I've undone the brute fact retreat. If the brutist attempts to escape regress with bruteness isn't a positive property, he has undone the retreat anyway. This is absence brute, which is randomness. Therefore, logical necessity itself is insufficient to explain existence. Ontological dual primitivism is necessary for actualization with an LOC that creates the plane of possibilities and a stochastic primitive making the selection. You can ask, is the stochastic primitive itself not just another brute fact? Only if you consider LOC a brute fact too. Why does LOC exist? Attempting non-existence presupposes existence. Similarly, why did the stochastic process pick Y presupposes contingency? Contingency infinitely regresses. Fn is never defined, which is definitionless, which is randomness. This necessitates stochasticism as a fundamental primary alongside LOC. This is self-definition. In both cases, the question presupposes the very thing it seeks to undermine.